והים בקעת לפניהם, ויעברו בתוך הים ביבשה, ואת רודפיהם השלכת במצולות, כמו אבן במים עזיים. ויושר עמהם. והיה ישראל את מצרים, מת על שפת הים, והיה ישראל את היד הגדולה אשר עשה אדוני במצרים, ויראו העם את אדוני, ויאמינו באדוני ובמשה עבדו. אז ישיר משה ובני ישראל את השירה הזאת לאדוני, ויאמרו לאמור, אשיר על אדוני, כי גאו גאה, סוס ורוכבו, רמה וים, עוזי וזמרת יה, ויהי לי לישוע. זה אלי וינבהו, אלוהי אביו ארוממנו. אדוני איש מלחמה, אדוני שמם, מאוד ברוך אלוהו רמה וים השם. אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. כי לאדוני המלוכה ומשל בגויים, ועלו מושיעים בארץ ציון לשפוט את עריציו. והייתה לאדוני המלוכה, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
You can be seated. We continue with Nishmat Kol Chai on 145.
נשמת כל חי, תברך את שמך, אדוני אלוהינו. ורוח כל בשר תפאר ותאמר, לחיים לנו מלך. פינו מלא שירה קיים, שומע מן החיים המצטער. ממצרים גאותנו, אדוני אלוהינו, מדודים בניתם פרסם וסבקה. בכל פעם שלנו.
Bottom of 146.
ברכי נפשי את אדוני וכל קרבי את שם קודשו. האל בתעצומות עוזך הגדול בכבוד שמך, הגיבור לנצח והנורא בנורותיך, המלך היושב על כיסא רם ונישא.
This concludes Pesukei de Zimra, our preliminary service. Yashar Kolchef to Sally Hempelman, a cousin of Mia's, for leading us in the preliminary service. We now continue with the Shacharit service that Mia will lead us in, which begins on page 147, the 6th line of the page with Shochenah.
Shochenah Marum Vekadosh Shemo.
Shochenah Marum Vekadosh Shemo.
Beth Sholom Titalo Uvdivrei Tzadikim Titbarach Uvilshon Chasidim Titromam Uvkerav Kadoshim Titkadosh Halot Rivavot Amchabet Yisrael.
Very nice.
Shekei Chovah Kol Yetzurim Lefanecha Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu Lehodot, Lehalel, Leshabeach, Lefaer, Leromem, Lehader, Levarech Lelo Koles Al Kol Divrei Shiro B'Tishbecho David Ben Yishai Avdecha Meshichach.
We rise for Yishtabach 148.
Yishtabach Shimcha La'ad Malkeinu. Bracha v'hodot me'ata ve'ad olam, Baruch atah Adonai, Amach gadol b'tishbachot. El ha'hodot, Adon ha'niflot, Ha'bocher b'shirei zimra, Melech ha'chaya olamim.
Amen.
Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah.
Amen.
Be'alma divrach irtei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael b'agala v'zman kari v'imru Amen. Yishmei Rabba mevorach le'olam olamei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitumam v'yitnasei v'yitadar v'yitala v'yitalal shemei dikudesha b'richu leila min kol birchata v'shirata tishbechata v'nechemata damiran be'alma ve'imru Amen.
Bottom of 149.
Baruch et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamevorach le'olam va'ed.
You can be seated, top of 150.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam yotzer ur borech oshech osar shalom avorah et hakol. Hakol yoducha v'hakol yeshabechucha v'hakol yomerin kadosh ka'Adonai. Ein kerkecha v'ein zuatecha efes piltecha mido melach. Ein kerkecha Adonai Eloheinu le'olam hazeh v'ein zuacha malkeinu l'chayei olam haba. Efes piltecha golenu limot hamashiach v'ein do melech hamoshienu litzchiyat hametim.
151.
El Adon Akol Hamasim Baruch V'Varach V'Tikol Neshama Gadlo V'Tuvo Malei Olam Da'at U'Tnuna Sobev Imoto Hamit Ga'al Chayot HaKodesh V'Nektar B'Chavod Al Merchavot Zechut U'Mishor Lifnei Chiso Chesed Rachamim Lifnei Chavoto Tovim Me'orot Shebara Eloheinu Besaram, Bedat, Bebina, Upaskel, Koach, Ukvura, Natan, Bahem, Leo, Moshlim, Beker, Teva, Meleim, Zibum, Fikim, Noga, Naezivum, Bechol, Ha'olam, Sumechlim, Betzeitam, Besasim, Beboam, Osim, Be'em, Araton, Konam, Be'er, Bechavot, Nodnim, Lishmot, Zahawa, Verina, Lezachar, Malchuto, Kara, Lashemesh, Vayizrach, Ora'a, Vehitkin, Zurata, Levana, Shevach, Nodnim, Lo, Kol, Tzeva, Maram, Tiferet, Ugedula, Seraphim, Be'ofanim, Bechayot HaKodesh.
Top of 152.
La'el asher shava mikol ha'ma'asim.
Hashabiz, Tiferet, Liam, Amnecha, Onek, Liom, Hashabat, Shevach,
Titbarach Moshienu al Shevach Maseh Yadecha ve'al me'orei or Shastita Yafaruch Hasela.
Top of 153.
Titbarach Tzureinu Malkeinu Begolenu Borei Kedoshim. Bekulam potchim et bihem bikdusha uv'tahara beshira uv'zimra umevarchim umeshabachim umfarim umaritim umakdishim umamlichim et Shem ha'el ha'melech ha'gadol. V'kulam mekablim alehem al malchut shamayim ze mizeh v'notnim reshut ze lazel l'hakdish liyotzram b'nachar ruach b'safa v'rura v'nima kedosha kulam kechad onim v'omrim be'ira Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh Adonai Tzevaot melech ha'aretz kevodo V'ha'ofanim v'chayot ha'kodesh Berash gadol minasim l'umat serafim L'umatam meshavechim ve'omrim Baruch kevod Adonai El Baruch Neimot Titenu Orchana shel Tion Ta'ir V'nizkechu lanu v'hira le'oro Baruch ata Adonai Yotzer ha'me'oro
154.
Ahava Rabba Avtanu Adonai Eloheinu Chem L'Gedola V'Tzera Chem Alta Aleinu Avinu Malkeinu Ba'avor Avoteinu Shebachu B'cha Avinu Malkeinu Vatelam tenchu kechaim, ken techodenu tlamtenu, avinu ha'av harachaman, hamrachem rachem aleinu. V'ten belibeinu lehavin lehaskil lishmo, alil modu lelamed lishmo asod, ulkayem et kol divrei Talmud Toratecha be'ava, v'ha'er neinu b'toratecha, v'dabek libeinu b'mitzvotecha, v'yachad levadeinu le'ahava u'lira et shemecha, v'lo nevosh le'olam va'ed, v'lo הגדול והנורא בתוכנו. נגילה ונשמחה, נגילה ונשמחה בישועתך. והביאנו לשלום מארבע כנפות הארץ, ותוליכנו קוממיות לארצנו. כי אל פועל ישועתה אתה, ובנו בחרת מכל עם ולשון, וקרבתנו לשמך הגדול. סלה סלה באמת להודות לך וייחדך באהבה. ברוך אתה אדוני הבוחר בנו ישראל באהבה.
155.
שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם מאוד על ידך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
We continue with the next paragraph of the Shema silently.
ויאמר אדוני משה לאמור דבר אל בני ישראל ואמרת עליהם ועשו להם ציצית על כנפי בגדיהם לדורותם ונתנו על ציצית הכנף בגדיל תכלת והיה לכם לציצית וראיתם אותו וזכרתם את כל מצוות אדוני ועשיתם אותם, ולא תטורו אחרי לבבכם ואחרי עיניכם, אשר אתם זונים לכם, למען תזכרו ועשיתכם לכל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתיכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם, אמן. לדור ודור הוא קיים ושמו קיים, וכיסו נכון ומלכותו ואמונתו ליד קיימת, ותברך חיים וקיימים. אמת שאתה הוא אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו, מלכנו מלך אבותינו, גואלנו גואל אבותינו, יוצרנו צור ישועתנו, הודינו ומצילנו מעולם שמך, אין אלוהים זולתך. עזרת אבותינו אתה הוא מעולם. Tehillah Elyon Baruch Umborach Moshe uMiriam uBnei Yisrael Lechan Yeshira Besimcha Rabba V'amru Kulam Mi Kamocha B'Elim Adonai Mi Kamocha Nedar B'Kodesh Naro Tehilot Sefer Shira Chadasha Shibechu Geulim Leshimcha Asafet Hayam Yachad Kulam Hodu Ve'lim Lichu Ve'ameru Adonai Imloch Le'olam Va'ed Tzur Yisrael Kuma Be'ezrat Yisrael Ufteichinu Mecha Yehuda Ve'Yisrael Go Aleinu Adonai Tzvot Shemo Kedosh Yisrael Baruch Ata Adonai Gal Yisrael.
We begin the Amidah out loud together, 159.
Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'Kono Hakol V'Zocher Chasei Avot Umevi Goel Ibnei Bneichem Leman Shemo Be'ahava Melech Ozer Ufoked U'Moshia U'Magen Baruch Ata Adonai Magen Avraham Ufoked Sarah Ata Gibor L'Olam Adonai Mechaye Metim Atarav Lehoshia Mashiv HaRuach U'Morid HaGashem Mechakel Chaim Bechesed Mechaye Metim Berachamim Rabim Somech Noflim Verofech Olim Umatir Asurim Umekayem Emunato Lishanei Afar Mikamo Bageverot Umidal Melech Melech Memit Umechaye Umatmiach Yeshua V'ne'emanat HaChayot Metim Baruch Ata Adonai Mechaye HaMetim Nekadas Shimcha B'Olam Keshem Shema K'dashim Ato B'Shmei Marom Kakatu B'Yad Nevi'echa V'Kar Zeh El Zeh V'Amar Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tavao, Melech Haaretz Kevodo, Az Bekol Rash Gadol, Adir Bechazak Mashmiim Kol, Minasim Leumat Serafim, Leumatam Baruch Yomeru. Baruch Kevod Adonai Mimkamo Mimkamecha Malkeinu Tofia V'timloch Aleinu Kimecha Kim Anachnu Lach Matai Timloch B'Tzion B'Karov B'Yameinu Le'olam Va'ed Tishkon Titgadol V'Tikdash B'toch Yerushalayim Ircha Ledor Vador Netzach Netzachim V'yeina Mashiach Tikecha. Imloch Adonai le'olam Elohayach Zion Ledor Vador, Hallelujah. Ledor Vador Nagid Godlecha, Ulenetzach Netzachim Kirshacha Naktish, V'shivchacha Eloheinu mipina le'emush de'lam va'ed, Ki el melech gadol v'kadosh ata, Baruch ata Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
If you're still davening your personal Amidah, please continue at your own pace. Mia will pick up on 167 with Kaddish Shalom.
Yitkadav yitkadash shemei Rabba.
Amen.
Be'almadi brachirte ve'amlich machute b'chaychon v'yamechon v'chayet zechol beit Yisrael b'agalav b'zman kari ve'imeru.
Amen.
Yehesh shmei Rabba mevorach le'olam ulam me'amaya. Yitbarach v'yishabach v'yitpar v'yitumam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitala v'yitala shmei dekudasha.
Brichu.
Leila min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata tamiran ve'alma ve'imeru. Amen. Titkabal tzadahun avutahun dech Israel kadama v'hun divishmaya ve'imeru. Amen. Yehesh tamar alamin shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'el kol Israel ve'imeru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'el kol Israel ve'imeru.
Amen. We turn to page 168 for the Torah service. I'll invite up Adina, Jamie, and Josh Heckelman, who will open the Ark, and as we approach the Ark, also for Naomi and Josh and Dahlia and Orly to join us on the Bima as well. Page 168.
Ein kamocha b'Elohim Adonai ve'ein k'ma'asecha malchutecha malchut kol ha'amim u'memshaltecha b'chol dor v'dor. Adonai melech, Adonai melech, Adonai imlech le'olam va'ed. Adonai oz le'olam lo yitain. Adonai yevarech et binso Aharon vayomer Moshe Kuma Adonai veyafutzu imrecha veyanusu mesanecha mipanecha ki mitzion tetzei Torah ki mitzion tetzei Torah udevar Adonai miYerushalayim Baruch Shenatan Torah Torah Baruch Shenatan Torah Torah Le'amo Yisrael B'kedushato.
As the ark is open, we take the opportunity to pray silently to ourselves 169 or 170. In a few moments, we'll come back together on the bottom of 170.
Be'anarachet, Belishmei Kadisha Yakira, Ana Emar Tushbechan, Be'anarachet, Belishmei Kadisha Yakira, Ana Emar Tushbechan, Yehera Avakodamach, Tetifach Libi Be'oraita, Vetashlim Mishalim Delibi, Ve'livadecho Amach Yisrael, Letavu Chaim Ve'lishlam. Amen. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Echad Eloheinu Gadol Adonenu Kadosh Shemo. Gadlu Adonai iti unero memo shemo yachdav lecha Adonai hagedula v'hagevura v'hatiferet v'hanetzach v'hahod kicho b'shamayim u'ba'aretz kicho b'shamayim u'ba'aretz lecha Adonai hamamlacha v'minaseh lechol romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'yishtachavu l'adam raglav kadoshim romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'yishtachavu l'har kodesho kadosh Adonai Eloheinu. You can be seated. The laning for this morning is from Parshat Vayishlach. We begin on page 214 at the very top of the page. ויעזור ויגן וישיר לכל החוסים בו ונאמר אמן.
Amen.
הכל הבו גדול אלוהינו ותנו כבוד לתורה, כהן קרב יעמוד, שמעון בן ריזל וחיים הכהן, חנה חווה בת יעקב ושלום עדה, ברוך שנתן תורה לעמו ישראל בקדושתו.
ואתם מניחים עליכם, חיים כולכם היום.
ואתם מלכים עליכם, חיים כולכם היום.
Baruch Adonai Hamborach. Baruch Adonai Borach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher b'chavanu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torto. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Vayisu mi Beit El, vayihi od kivrat haaretz lavo Ephrata, v'taled Rachel, v'takosh belideta, vayihi behakshota belideta, v'tomer la hamayaladet al tiri, ki gam zeh lach ben, vayehi betzet nafsha ki meta, v'tikra shmo benoni, v'aviv karalo Binyamin, Vatamat Rachel v'tikaver b'derech Ephrata hi Beit Lechem, vayetzev Yaakov matzeva al kurata hi matzeva kurot Rachel ad hayom, vayisa Yisrael vayed alo mahala lemigdal eder, vayehi bishkon Yisrael ba'aretz ahi, vayelech Reuven, Vayishkav et Bilha Pilgesh Aviv, Vayishma Yisrael, Vayivnei Yaakov Shem, Vayishma Yisrael, Vayivnei Yaakov Shnem Asar, Bnei Leah, Bechor Yaakov, Reuven, Veshimon, Velevi, Yehuda, V'Yisachar, Zvulun, Bnei Rachel, Yosef, U'Binyamin, U'Bnei Bilha, Shivcha, Rachel, Dan, V'Naftali, U'Bnei Zilpa, Shivcha, Leah, Gad V'Asher, Ele b'nei Yaakov, asher yulad lo b'Padan Aram.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam natan b'tocheinu. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
יעמוד אהרון הלל בן שרה וישעיהו הלוי וליאורה בת חיים זלמן ותבורה.
The second aliyah is found on page 215, verse 27.
Baruch et Adonai Hamborach.
Baruch Adonai Hamborach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamborach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bacha banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Vayavo Yaakov el Yitzchak aviv. Amen. Vayavo Yaakov el Yitzchak aviv. Mamre Kiryat Harba. Hi Chevron asher garsham Avraham veYitzchak. Vayihiu yemei Yitzchak me'at shana u'shmonim shana. Vayigva Yitzchak vayamot vayasef el amav zaken usvayamim. Vayikberu oto Esav Yaakov banav.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tocheinu. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
יעמדו את יהודית בת יצחק ובת שבע, דליה שרה בת חיים, יהושע הכהן ונעמי עליזה, ואורלי יפה בת חיים, יהושע הכהן ונעמי עליזה שלישי.
The third aliyah is found on the top of page 216.
Baruch
Baruch Adonai Hambarach.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol hamim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Ve'ele toldot Esav hu Edom Esav לקח את נפשיו מבנות כנען את עדה בת אלון החיתי ואת אהליבמה בת ענה בת ציבון החיבי ואת בסמת בת ישמעאל אחות נוויות אחות נוויות ותלד עדה לעשב את אליפז ובסמת ילדה את ראואל ואליבמה ילדה את יאוש ואת ילם ואת קורח אלה בני עשיו אשר ילדו לו בארץ כנען.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Yamod David ben Yitzchak Revi'i.
The fourth aliyah is found on page 216, verse 6.
Following the aliyah that Josh will read, David will bench Gomel. Gomel is a bracha that someone recites after they've been through an experience where they are grateful for their life. And of course, we are glad that David is in a position to be able to bench Gomel today. You'll be able to respond to David's bracha in your sidurim on the bottom of page 173. David will recite the bracha, and then we will respond with the first line after him, following the bracha after the aliyah.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam
Baruch
Va'ed.
Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol hamim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. ויקח עשיו את נפשיו ואת בניו ואת בנותיו ואת כל נפשו ביתו ואת כל מקנהו ואת כל בהמתו ואת כל קניינו אשר רכש בארץ כנען וילך אל ארץ מבני יעקב אחיו כי היה רכושם רב משבט יחדיו ולא יכלה את ארץ מגוריכם לשאת אותם מפני מקניכם. וישב עשיו בהר שעיר, עשיו הוא אדום.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei lanu ta b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hagomel l'chayvim tavot malakni kol tov.
Amen. Mi shekemalacha kol tov, hu yekemalacha kol tov selah.
Yamod Harav Avraham Rachamim ben Binyamin Raphael Miriam Chamishi.
The fifth aliyah begins on page 217, verse 9.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvorach. Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol hamim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Ve'ele toldot Esav Evi Edom Behar Seir Ele Shemo Bnei Esav Eliphaz Ben Ada Eshed Esav Roel Ben Basmat Eshed Esav V'yu Bnei Eliphaz Teman Amar Tovigatam Uknaz Betimna Haita Filegesh Eliphaz ben Esav, Veteleb Eliphaz, Adam Alek, Eleb bnei Ada, Eshed Esav, Ve'eleb bnei Roel, Nacha v'Zerach, Shema Mizah, Ele hayu bnei Basmat, Eshed Esav, Ve'ele hayu bnei Halivama, Vatana, Bativon, Eshed Esav, Veteleb Esav, Et Yush, Vetyelam, Vetkorach, Ele Elufei bnei Esav, Bnei Eliphaz Bechor Esav, Aluf Teman, Aluf Omar, Aluf Tefa, Aluf Kenaz, Aluf Korach, Aluf Gatam, Aluf Amalek, Ele, Aluf Eliphaz Be'eretz Edom, Ele Bnei Ada, Be'ele, Bnei Reuel Ben Esav, Aluf Nachar, Aluf Zerach, Aluf Shama, Aluf Misa, Ele, Aluf Reuel Be'eretz Edom, Ele Bnei Basmat, Eshed Esav, Be'ele. Then Ve'ele bnei Halivama Eshed Esav, Aluf Yeush, Aluf Yalam, Aluf Korach, Ele Aluf Korach, Ele Alufei Halivama, Batana Eshed Esav, Ele bnei Esav, Ele Alufeihem Hu Edom.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Ya'amdu Ephraim Yisrael v'chosi zlata v'rachalea bat Menachem Mendo v'Yehudit v'David Abraham v'Menachem Mendo v'Yehudit v'Ilana bat Ze'ev v'Ayala v'Yonatan ben Menachem Mendo v'Yehudit Shishi.
The sixth aliyah begins on page 218, verse 20.
Yeah.
Baruch Hu Adonai Havarach. Baruch Adonai Havarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol hamim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Oh, hold it.
Amen. Ele bnei Sir haflori yoshvei haaretz lotam v'shaval v'tzivam v'ana v'dishan v'tzar v'dishan. Ele alufei achori bnei Sir beretz Edom yu bnei Lotan chori v'heimam v'achor Lotan timna ve'ele bnei Shoval avanu manacha ve'eval shafo ve'onam ve'ele bnei Tzivon v'ayei v'ana hu ana asher matzah hamim b'midbar berato et hachamorim l'Tzivon aviv ve'ele bnei Ana Dishon ve'halivama vatana ve'ele bnei Dishan Chamzan ve'eshban ve'yitren uchran Ele bnei Etzer Bilhan ve'tzavan v'akan Ele bnei Dishan utzvaran Ele alufei hachlari aluf Lotan aluf Shoval aluf Tzivon aluf Ana aluf Dishon aluf Etzer aluf Dishan Ele alufei hachlari alufeihem ve'eretz Seir.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Ya'amdu Esther Dvorah ben Shimon HaKohen v'Chana Chava v'Daniel Hillel ben Alter v'Rachel Shiv'i.
The seventh aliyah is found on the top of page 219.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamorach. Baruch Adonai hamorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Ve'ela melachim asher malchu be'eretz Edom lifnei melech melechim bnei Yisrael. V'imloch b'Edom Bela ben Be'or b'Shem Irodin Hava Ve'amapala V'imloch tachtav Yovav ben Zerach mivatra Ve'ema Yovav V'imloch tachtav Chusham me'eretz haTeimani V'imloch Chusham V'imloch tachtav Hadad ben Badad Hamaked migan b'Srev Moav V'Shem Iro Avit V'yamat Hadad V'imloch tachtav Samla mimatzerka V'yamat Samla V'imloch tachtav Shaul merechavot hanahar V'yamat Shaul V'imloch tachtav Baal Hanan ben Achbor V'yamat Baal Hanan ben Achbor V'imloch tachtav Hadar V'Shem Iro Pa'il V'Shem Isha meheitavel bat Mared bat Mezahav.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu torat emet, v'chayei olam natan b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Ya'amdu Chaim Yoshua ben Shimon HaKohen v'Chanachava v'Naomi Aliza bat Menachem Mendel v'Yehudit Acharon.
The Maftir Aliyah is found on the top of page 220.
It's the Acharon.
The Acharon Aliyah.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamorach.
Baruch Adonai Barach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Barach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Ve'ela Shema Alufei Esav Lamishbechotam Limchomatam Bishmatam Aluf Timna Aluf Elva Aluf Yate Aluf Halivama Aluf Ela Aluf Pinon Aluf Kenaz Aluf Teman Aluf Mivzar Aluf Magdiel Aluf Ram Ele Alufei Edom Lemoshvatam Be'eretz Echuzatam Hu Esav Evi Edom.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu torat emet, v'chayei olam natan b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. At this point, after Mia has read Torah for our community for the first time, we want to take the opportunity to offer a particular type of gratitude. Mia, you have worked tremendously hard for today and demonstrated very clearly that this is not the only time that you are going to stand up here and read Torah. It might be the first, but it is certainly not the last. Knowing you, knowing your family, I have no question about that. And so we offer gratitude to God for giving us life, for sustaining us, and in particular, especially this year, for allowing us to arrive at this moment. I'll invite two of you to come up as well. And I'll invite all of you to join us in reciting and singing the Shehecheyanu bracha, offering gratitude in this moment. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Shehecheyanu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Shabbat for Cholim, a prayer for all who are ill. After I read the list of names, I'll scan the room, and anyone who wants to include others in our bracha, prayers for healing, anyone that you would like to send some healing towards today, healing of body or healing of spirit, please include their name when I pause. Misha Berach, Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak Yaakov, Ve'imotenu Sarah Rivka Rachel Leah, V'yivarech V'yira Petach Cholim, Hadar Ashkenazi, Mark Battleman, Helen Beavers, Ricky Beavers, Lee Bradley, Vicky Bradley, Diana Bressinger, Donna Brigham, Beverly Cassius, Charlotte DeFlumer, Edward Goldberg, Barbara Green, John Herrick, Marshall Jaffe, Jonathan Jadakin, Bonnie Cabot, Inbal Krikeli, Elaine Kruger, Dan Lawrence, Mark Sanlazar, Alvin Malkin, Maddie Marshall, Mark Mathias, Jody Moore, Larry Robinson, Judy Schenberg, Darlene Shevsky, Brian Siskin, Lauren Spiegel, Sarah Whaley, Jennifer Woodward, Debbie Yanks, Aaron Ben Brona, Lisa Batrina, Hannah Claire, Bationa, Ita Yudit, Batshenda, Yitzchak Mordechai, Ben Zavora, Malka Bator, Bela Rachaman, Ben Sora, Sarmir, Batshenda, Simcha Tivia, Batlea, Yaakov David, Ben Zavora, Israel Eliyahu, Ben Leah, Ve'et.
Erica Jones.
Those I serve.
HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yamale Rachamim Alehem Lahachzikam Urabotam Lishlach Lehem Mehira Refuat Shlema Min HaShamayim Refuat HaNefesh Refuat HaGuf B'toch Shar HaCholim V'chazek Et Yudei Ha'oskim B'tzorcheihem Shabbat Himili Zokur Fakar V'Lavo Hashta Bagalav Izman Kariv V'nomar Amen El Narefana Lanu El Narefana Lanu El Narefana Lanu Refua Shelema
Yitkada v'yitkada shemei rabba
Amen
Yamad yibrachirute v'yanich malchute
V'chayechonu v'yomechan V'chayedecho Beit Yisrael Bagala Bagala Ubizman Karim Amen Yeshmei Rabba Mevorach Le'olam Le'omel Maya Yivarach
V'parach v'yishtabach v'pa'ar v'yitroman v'yitnase v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmida kudsha
Brechu
Le'ela mikol b'chata v'shirvata
Tushbechata v'nechemata Damiran be'alma
V'yimeru
Amen.
Tamod, 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 Mirav Eliana, Bat Chaim Yoshua HaKohen, V'Naomi Aliza Maftira.
The Maftir Aliyah is found on page 220.
Baruch Hu Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Havarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Hamim V'natan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah. Ve'ele Shemo Othei Esav Lemishbechotam Limkamatam Bishmatam Aluf Timna Aluf Elva Aluf Yatet Aluf Levama Aluf Ela Aluf Pinon Aluf Kenaz Aluf Teman Aluf Miftar Aluf Magdiel Aluf Iram Ele Alufei Edom Lemeshratam Be'eret Echuzotam Hu Esav Evi Edom Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Natan Lanu Torah Temet B'chayei Olam Nata B'Tzochenu Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. We'll rise for the lifting of the Sefer Torah.
Yamod Moshe Reuven ben Chaim Yaakov Magvia v'Ta'amod Tova bat Chaim Rachmiel uvat Sheva Golelet
Yerushalayim Tetzei Torah Udvar Hashem Yerushalayim Mitzion Tetzei Torah Udvar Hashem Yerushalayim Mitzion Tetzei Torah Udvar Hashem Yerushalayim. You can be seated. The Haftarah for this morning that Mia will chant for us can be found in your Chumashim on page 222. Page 222.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'nvi'im tovim v'ratav divreihem hanemarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'Torah u'Moshe avdo u'b'Yisrael amo u'b'nvi'ei ha'emet v'tzedek. Chazon Ovadia כה אמר Adonai Elohim le'edom שמוע שמענו מאת Adonai וציר בגויים שולח קומו ונקומה עליה למלחמה הנה קטון נתתיך בגויים בזוהייתה מאוד סתום ליבך השיעך שוכנים מחג וסלע מרום שבטו אומר בליבו מי יורידני ארץ אם תגביה כאן אשר ואם בין כוכבים שים קינך מי שמורידך נאום אדוני אם גנבים באו לך אם שודדי לילה איך נדמתה הלא יגנבו דיים אם בטרים באו לך הלא ישירו לילות איך נחפשו עשיו ניבאו מצפוניו על הגבול שלחוך כל אנשי בריתך השיעוך יאכלו לך אנשי שלומך לחמך ישימו מזור תחתך אין תונה בו הלל ביום ההוא נאום אדוני והעברתי החמים מאדום ותבונה מהר עשיו וחצו גיבורך תימן למען יקרא איש מהר עשיו מקטל מחמס אחיך יעקב תחסך בושה ונכרת לעולם ביום עמדך מנגד ביום שבו זרים חילו ונחרים באו שעריו ועל ירושלים ידעו גורל גם אתה כאחד מהם ואל תראה ביום אחיך ביום נחרו ואל תשמח לבני יהודה ביום עבדם ואל תגדל פיך ביום צרה אל תבוא בשער עמי ביום אדם אל תראה גם אתה לראתו ביום עדו ואל תשלחנה בחילו ביום עדו ואל תעמוד על הפרק להכרית את פליטיו ואל תזכר שרידיו ביום צרה כי קרוב עם אדוני על כל הגויים כאשר עשית יעשה לך גמולך ישיב בראשך כי כאשר שתיתם על הר קודשי ישתו כל הגויים תמיד ושתו ולאו והיו כלא היו ובהר ציון תהיה פליטה והיה קודש וירשו ביעקב את מורשתם והיה ביעקב אש וביוסף אהבה ובית עשיו לקש וזרקו בהם ואכלום לא יהיה שריד לבית עשיו כי אדוני דיבר וירשו הנגב את הר עשיו והשפלה את פלישים וירשו את שדה אפרים ואת שדה שומרון ובנימין את הגלעד וגלות החיל הזה לבני ישראל אשר כנענים עד צרפת וגלות ירושלים אשר בספרד ירשו את ערי הנגב Ve'alu Moshi'im behar Tzion, lishbot et har Esav, ve'hayta l'Adonai hamlucha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, tzor kol ha'olamim, tzadik bechol hadorot, ha'el ha'neman, ha'omer ve'oseh, hamdaber m'kayim, shekol devarav, emet v'tzedek. Ne'eman atahu Adonai Eloheinu, ve'ne'emanim devarecha, ve'devarecha mivarecha, achor lo yashuv rekam, ki ha'melech ne'eman, v'rachaman atah, baruch atah Adonai. Ha'el ha'ne'eman bechol dvarav. Rachem al Tzion ki beit chayenu, ve'lo avat nefesh toshia b'mhira b'yameinu, baruch atah Adonai. Mesameach Tzion bevaneha. Samcheinu Adonai Eloheinu, be'eliyahu hanavi avdecha, v'malchut beit Abi Meshichecha, b'mhira yavo ve'yagel libenu, al kiso lo yeshev zar v'lo nichelu od echarim et kevodo, ki v'shem kodechecha nishbata lo, shelo ikbenero le'olam va'ed, baruch atah Adonai, Magen David. Al haTorah, ve'al ha'avodah, ve'al nevi'im, ve'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh, shenatata lanu Adonai Eloheinu, likdusha v'limnucha, lechabod u'letifaret. Al hakol Adonai Eloheinu, anachnu modim lach, u'mevarchim otach, yitbarach shimcha, v'fi kol chai, tamid le'olam va'ed, baruch atah Adonai, lekadesh ha'shabbat. Amen. There's another wasp.
It's okay. It's not going to get you. You're okay. You're okay. Take your sip of water. You got it. For those of you that plan to eat your mid-shul snack, this is the time to open the wrapper before Mia starts offering us some words of Torah.
There are so many major events packed into Parashat Vayishlach. Jacob fights with a man, he receives a new name, Rachel dies after she gives birth to Benjamin, and Isaac dies and is buried. These very dramatic events certainly catch your eye when reading the story. But when I read the Parsha, a less well-known verse jumped out at me. Chapter 35, verse 8 reads, "V'tamat Devorah mineket Rivka, v'tikaver mitachat lebeit el tachat ha'alon, v'yikra shmo Alon Bachut." The verse tells us that a woman named Devorah, who was Rivka's nurse, died and was buried under the oak below Beth El, and so it was named Alon Bachut, or Oak of the Weeping. Several chapters before, the Torah mentions that when Rivka leaves Haran to marry Yitzchak, she brings along her former wet nurse, who is not named. But this is the first time Devorah is mentioned by name in the Torah. Because women's names and/or their deaths do not appear frequently in the Torah, I figured this must mean that she's really important. So who is Devorah? Why does the Torah tell us that she died? And why does the Torah tell us this now? I read a couple of commentaries, and it seemed like they fell into two teams. Each of these commentaries gave me a different perspective about why the Torah tells us that Devorah died, when we don't know anything about her. Ramban, the first commentator I read, suggests that Devorah's death is actually a code for the death of Rivka, Yaakov's mother. Devorah had been Rivka's nurse, so they had a strong connection. Devorah's death refers to Rivka's death. If that's true, then why did the Torah not just say that Rivka died? Rashi looks at the same question. He agreed with Ramban that Devorah's death was code for Rivka's death. He thought that Rivka's death was kept secret because they did not want people to curse the mother who gave birth to Esav. Instead, they said that her nurse died. Another thought that I had was that maybe they did not mention Rivka's death because they didn't want to give honor to her because she was involved with lying to Yitzchak when Yaakov stole the birthright from Esav. That reasoning makes sense to me because some of her actions were really troubling. Ramban and Rashi are clearly on Team Rivka, meaning that they both believe that mentioning Devorah's death is code for Rivka's death. But Shadal and Malbim, two other commentators, are on Team Devorah. They both believe that when the Torah says that Devorah died, it means that Devorah died. Shadal tells us that Devorah was really an important person because she went with Rivka to take care of Rivka's kids. She deserves honor because she devoted a lot of effort into raising Rivka's kids, and even after they were grown, she helped take care of them. Shadal says that we should honor all people who are caregivers. If Shadal is saying that we need to honor Devorah because she was a nurse who put in a lot of effort, then he is saying that Devorah's death is mentioned as a lesson for us to honor all people who take care of us and our families. Shadal's teaching made me think that one's caregiver can be influential at any point in your life, not just when you're little. Malbim agrees with Shadal. Devorah is her own person and does not represent anyone else. It is not code for Rivka dying. He adds that Devorah was a righteous woman because she took care of other people. Taking care of people requires a lot of time, energy, and patience. Another element that stands out to me is that Devorah's death is sandwiched in between two hugely significant events in Yaakov's life. Right after Yaakov built an altar at Beit El, and right before God changed Yaakov's name to Israel. Beit El is the place where God revealed himself to Yaakov when he was running for his life from Esav. And some might even say that this moment at Beit El is like Yaakov's own moment of Matan Torah, giving of the Torah on Mount Sinai. This moment regarding Devorah seems insignificant because the Torah gives it only one verse, yet it happens right between these tremendous events in Yaakov's life. And I think this one verse provided a few clues. Yaakov had not seen Devorah in a long time, yet he stopped in his own big moment to think about Devorah and pay her respect. She received a proper burial in Beit El, a holy place. And the tree under which she was buried even received a special name, the Oak of the Weeping. This name shows that many people must have loved Devorah and been sad when she died. Yaakov's attention to Devorah teaches us that at times of great significance in our lives, we must pay attention to those around us. Both Rivka and Devorah played a critical role in helping Yaakov reach his big moment. And now that Yaakov is grown and able to put other people before himself, he has these meaningful moments. It's part of his growth. I think that the Torah chooses to mention Devorah's death specifically in this moment to mark the end of this period in Yaakov's life when both his mother and mother figure are no longer able to take care of him. Both of these women played a big part in Yaakov's upbringing, but now Yaakov must act for himself and his family. He develops a new and very special connection with God. I began to think how Yaakov's story relates to me becoming a bat mitzvah. Like Yaakov, these past months have been leading up to my special moment when I become an adult in the eyes of Judaism and have to make some decisions for myself. Yaakov taught me that even in big moments, it's not only about me, but I have to think about others as well. I am very glad that even during these hectic months leading up to today, I was able to volunteer with the Refugee Empowerment Program, helping the children of immigrants and refugees with their homework and playing with them. I will continue volunteering because it's necessary to help others feel welcome, whether they are new to a country, a neighborhood, a school, or a place of worship. While we were planning this bat mitzvah during COVID, my family and I tried as best we could to think about ways to keep others safe and at ease. Preparing for the bat mitzvah, also made me realize how many people helped me reach this special moment. Over the last year, Rabbi Abi Schechter Gampel patiently taught me to read Torah and lead the services, Haftorah. I enjoyed studying the Parsha with Rabbi Sari in preparation for this Devar Torah. I am very grateful to my teachers at Bornblum, who not only taught me Hebrew and Tanakh, but also Jewish values. My sisters, Dolly and Orly, set the bar high at their own bat mitzvahs, but also set an example for me, as they are both active members of the Jewish community. And of course, I would not and could not have reached today without the love and support of my own caregivers, my mom and my dad. It became clear to me that my bat mitzvah is not only a big moment for me, but it is a moment for the entire community to come together. I have been so touched by the many nice things people have done, whether contributing art supplies for my mitzvah project with RIP, baking a chocolate cake, offering to run errands for my family, or making hospitality bags for our out-of-town friends and family. I hope that Yaakov's message will stay with me as I go on to have other big moments. I plan to keep studying Jewish texts, to remain active in the Beth Sholom community, and build on the sturdy foundation my parents and teachers have built for me. Shabbat Shalom.
Yasher Koach. Yasher Koach. Tamia. Beautiful Dvar Torah, beautiful words of Torah. And at this point, I'd like to offer you a bracha. Misha Berach Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov v'imotenu Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah. May the one who blessed our ancestors bless Mia Eliana, Meirav Eliana Bat Chaim Yoshua HaKohen v'Naomi Aliza, who has come forward this day to the reading of the Torah in recognition of her desire to live a worthy Jewish life. Mia, as you spoke about today is one of your big moments. And you reminded us all that just like Yaakov, in each of our big moments, we owe a sense of gratitude to those that guided us and helped lay our foundations. Mia, one of the remarkable things about you is that you didn't have to think twice when we spoke to imagine all of those people in your life. Your grandparents who laid strong Jewish foundations before your parents were even born. Your community in Maryland you articulated before you came to Memphis. All of your teachers and mentors, your counselors from camp. You didn't miss a beat in rattling off all those that have guided you to this moment in one way or another. And while some may feel like their special day is only about them, you have had a beautiful ability to articulate that it's also about others, your community, those who benefit from your service and chesed, and all those who shep tremendous nachas about you. Mia, you are determined about the things that are important to you and persistent. Shy is not a bone in your body, and you do not hold back when something needs to be said. These qualities together will ensure that you live a driven life of purpose. Throughout your life, I'm confident that you will be the right person in the right room at the right time, using your determination and persistence, using your assertiveness to make change and to make a difference. In this week's Parsha Mia, as you know, Yaakov wrestles with a divine being, and while he is transformed as an individual, so is his name. He becomes Yisrael, literally the one who struggles with God, and we inherit that legacy as Jews. I hope throughout your entire Jewish journey, you find yourself meaningfully wrestling with God. I hope you ask questions and you push and you debate to live into the legacy that your Bat Mitzvah Parsha offers you. And I believe if you lean into this with authenticity and with the purpose of seeking a deeper connection, you will also live into your name. Meirav, abundance. Eliana, my God will answer. I pray that in whatever ways you struggle with God, you inevitably will, we all do, that you will be answered by God and by the godliness around you with abundance. May God continue to be with you and in the life that lies before you, just as God has been with you from the day of your birth until now. May it be God's will that you continue to grow in body and spirit, in wisdom and humility, in the love of all creatures, in faithfulness and courage, surrounded by your beloved family. And may you always be regarded as gracious and wise in the eyes of God and all humanity. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. Mazal tov. We'll turn to page 177. You can be seated for a minute. For the prayer for our country, I'll invite up Jordana Berger, Stacy Sanderson, and Dana Shefsky, who will lead us. Page 177, prayer for our country. Following that, the prayer for the state of Israel on 178.
Our God and God of our ancestors, with mercy accept our prayer on behalf of our country and its government. Pour out your blessings upon this land, upon its inhabitants, upon its leaders, its judges, officers, and officials, who faithfully devote themselves to the needs of the public. Help them understand the rules of justice you have decreed so that peace and security, happiness and freedom will never depart from our land. Adonai, God, whose spirit is in all creatures, we pray that your spirit be awakened within all the inhabitants of our land. Uproot from our hearts hatred and malice, jealousy and strife. Plant love and companionship, peace and friendship among the many peoples and faiths who dwell in our nation. Grant us the knowledge to judge justly, the wisdom to act with compassion, and the understanding and courage to root out poverty from our land. May it be your will that our land be a blessing to all who dwell on earth, and may you cause all peoples to dwell in friendship and freedom. Speedily fulfill the vision of your prophets. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. For all of them, from the least of them to the greatest, shall know me. And let us say, Amen.
Thank you. We turn to 178. Sally and Daniel Huckelman will chant for us the prayer for the state of Israel.
Avinu shebashamayim, tzur Yisrael v'goalo, barech et medinat Yisrael, reshit tzmichat geulatenu. Avinu shebashamayim, tzur Yisrael v'goalo, barech et medinat Yisrael, reshit tzmichat geulatenu. Hagen aleha be'evrat chesdecha, ufros aleha sukat shlomecha, ושלח אורך ועמיתך לראשיה, שריה ויועציה, ותקנם בעצה טובה מלפניך. חזק את ידי מגיני ארץ קודשנו, והנחילם אלוהינו ישועה, ועטרת ניצחון תעטרם. ונתת שלום בארץ, ושמחת עולם ליושביה, ונאמר אמן.
Page 181 for Ashrei. And in just a few moments, Sarah Heckelman, Lena Lax, and Yael Liebman, y'all are on deck for opening the Ark. On the next page, right now we are on 181 with Ashrei.
Asher yoshvei veitecha, od yalucha sela.
Ashrei am shekacha lo, Ashrei ha'am shadonai Eloham.
Tehila leDavid, arolimcha Elohai hamelech, vavarcha shimcha leolam va'ed.
B'chol yom avarchaka, v'ala shimcha leolam va'ed.
Gadol Adonai Mu'al me'od, ve'ligdu ato ein cheker.
Dor l'nor yishavach ma'asecha, u'gvuratecha yagidu.
Hadar kevod hodecha, v'divrei niflotecha asicha.
Le'zuz maratecha yameru, u'du'acha asafana.
זכר אבטך יביאו ועתידך ירננו.
חנון ברחום אדוני, ערך אפיים וגדול חסד.
טוב אדוני לכל ורחמיו על כל מעשיו.
יודעוך אדוני כל מעשיך, וחסידיך יברכוך.
כבוד מלכותך יאמרו, גבורתך ידברו.
להודיע לבני האדם גבורותיו, וכבוד הדר מלכותו.
מלכותך מלכות כל עולמים, וממשלתך בכל דור ודור.
סומך אדוני לכל הנופלים, וזוקף לכל הכפופים.
עיני כל לך יסברו, ואתה נותן להם את אוכלם בעיתו.
פותח את ידיך, ומשביע לכל הרצון.
צדיק אדוני בכל דרכיו, וחסיד בכל מעשיו.
קרוב אדוני לכל קרוב, לכל אשר יקראו באמת.
רצון ירב יעשה, ואת שבתם ישמעם ויושיעם.
שומר אדוני כל אוהביו, ואת כל הרשעים ישמיד.
תהילת אדוני ידבר פיו, ויברך כל בשר שם קודשו לעולם ועד. ואנחנו נברך יה, מעתה ועד עולם. Hallelujah.
We rise, page 183 as the ark is open.
Yeah, hallelujah, Shem Adonai, ki niskav Shemo levado. Hado haaretz v'shamayim, vayarem kerem layamo. Tehillah lechol chasidav, livnei Yisrael am kerovo. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Mismor leDavid, havu Adonai b'nei, havu Adonai kavod baz, havu Adonai kavod shemo, yishtachavu Adonai b'hadrat kodesh. Kol Adonai al-hamayim al-kavod hirim, Adonai al-mayim rabim. Kol Adonai ba'kol, Kol Adonai behadar, Kol Adonai shover asim, V'shaver Adonai et arzei habanim. Vayarkidem kemo egel avanim v'sirion kemo ben reimim. Kol Adonai chosek lavotesh, Kol Adonai yachil midbar, Yachil Adonai midbar kadesh, Kol Adonai yachol el hayalot. Vayechesof yira'ot, v'yechalo kulo omer kavod. Adonai lamabul yasha, Yeshev Adonai melech le'olam. Adonai oz le'amo yitain, Adonai yevarech et amo b'shalom. Cho yomar. Ki lekoch tov natati lachem, Torati al tazovu, et chaim hi lamachazikim ba, v'tomcheha meushar deracheha derechei noam, v'chol netivoteha shalom. Hashivenu Adonai elecha v'nashuva, Chadesh yameinu kekedem.
We remain standing for Chatzi Kaddish before Musaf 184.
Yitzgada, Yitzgada, Shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
B'amad yivrachute, v'amlich malchute, v'chayechon v'yomechon, uv'chayetach l'beit Yisrael, b'galo v'zman kari, v'imru Amen. Yehesh mirabam mevorach, elam l'almei almaya, yiparach v'yishtabach, v'yitpar, v'yiturman, v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar, v'yitalev, v'yitalal, shemei dekudesha, v'erichu, leilab min kol berchata v'shirata, tishbechata v'nechemata, tabiran be'oma, v'imru, amen.
Mia will lead us in the beginning of the Musaf Amidah out loud, 185.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'Koneh Hakol V'Zocher Chasdei Avot Umevi Goel Ibnei Bneihem Leman Shemo Be'ahava Melech Ozer Fokedu Moshiach U'Magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham Ufoked Sarah Atah Gibor Elam Adonai Mechayei Metim Atarav Lehoshia Mashiv Haruch U'Marid Hagashem Mechakel Chaim Bechesed Mechayei Metim Berachamim Rab Somech Noflim Berafech Olim Umatir Asurim Mekayem Emunato Lishanei Afar Mikamocha B'Geberot Ubidom Melech Melech Mitim Mechayem Umat Yeshua, b'ne'emunat al-chayot metim. Baruch atah Adonai, mechayei ha-metim. Naritzecha v'nakdishcha, kesotziach sarfei kodesh, hamakdishim shimcha b'kodesh, kakatu v'yad neviyecha v'kar ze el ze ve'amar. Kadosh, 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 Adonai Teva'ot, Melech ha'aretz, Kevodo, Kevodo malei olam, Mesharta sholim ze lo ze, Hayei mekom kevodo, Le'umatam baruch yomeru. Baruch kevodo Adonai, Mekom amin kamayim rachmim, Baruch kevodo Adonai, Mimkomo, Mimkomo, Hu yikven berachamim, ve'yachonam, ham yachadim shemo, erev avoker, bechol yom tamid, pamayim be'ahava, shema omrim. Shema Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Hu Eloheinu Hu Avinu Hu Malkeinu Hu Moshienu Vehu Yashmienu Berachamav Sheni Leinei kol chayil hiyot lachem le'Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem, uvdivrei kodecha katuv le'mor. Yimloch Adonai le'olam, Elohayek Zion, le'dor vador, hallelujah. Yimloch Adonai le'olam, Elohayek Zion, le'dor vador, hallelujah. Ledor bador nagid goldacha, ulenetach netachim kedushacha nakdish, v'shikchacha Eloheinu mipinu le'amesh selam va'ed, ki amach gadol v'kadosh ata, baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
continue with Kaddish Shalem, page 203.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבו.
אמן.
בעמוד דירה חירתי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי זכו בית ישראל בגלל בזמן קריב ואמרו.
אמן.
יהי שמי רבו מבורך חייו ומולו מאומיה יתברך. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתלש מירי קודשו ברכו לילה מכל ברכתה ושירתה תשבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. תתקבל תלתהן ואותהן דכל ישראל קדם אבהן דיבי שמיה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלום רבין שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו
אמן.
עשה שלום בימיו ויעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו
Amen. En Kelohenu 204.
En Kelohenu, En Kadonenu, En Kemalkeinu, En Kemoshienu, Michelohenu, Michadonenu, Michemalkeinu, Mikemoshienu, No Delohenu, No Delodonenu, No Delemalkeinu, No Delemoshienu, Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu, Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshienu, Atahu Shehitiru, Avotenu, Lechanecha Torah Tasamim, Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'tegid l'aleotzer breshit, shelo asanu k'gohei harasot, velo samanu k'mishpachot adama, shelo samchotenu kahem, v'goralenu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, v'mishtachavim v'modim, לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסר ארץ ומשה וקרא בשמיים ממעל ושכינת זו בגבי מרומים הוא אלוהינו עליון במלכנו רק בסולתו ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום להשבות אל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחתינו. ככתוב בתורתך אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו
You can be seated. Today and in the coming week, we honor the yahrzeits of the following: Murray Kruger, Sidney Junov, Joe Edelson, Minette Rossin, Abraham Schulman, Sylvia Buring, Sam Pressman, Gerald Ira Plitman, Ida Betty Sussman, Joseph Rabin, Sadie Glassman, Alan Keel, Garrison Siskin, Eugene Epstein, Bessie Oni Keel, Irene Bass, Mildred Fox, and Gila Boheme. And of course, we offer condolences to Louis Alexander, to Susan Gross, and the entire Alexander family on the death of Debbie Alexander this past week. I invite all those who are in mourning or observing a yahrzeit to join me in reciting Mourner's Kaddish Kaddish Yatom, page 207. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah Be'alma Divra Kirutei v'yamlich Malchutei B'chayechon v'yomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael Ba'agala uv'izman karim v'imru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mevorach Leolam u'lamei almayah Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudsha brichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tush bechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru Amen. Yehei shlam arab amin shemaya V'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru Amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru Amen. Shabbat shalom. It's so nice to be able to be together with all of you. Of course, Mazal Tov to Mia, Mazal Tov to the entire Katz family. It's so nice to be able to have a simcha with all of you, to welcome the two of you back as always, and to be able to celebrate with you. A few announcements for our community. Tomorrow morning we have a morning of gratitude program for families with kids 5 and under at 10 a.m. And we have 2 Hanukkah programs coming up. Community candle lighting with singing and Sufganiyot on Thursday, December 2nd at 6 p.m. That Saturday night, Motzei Shabbat, we have a Hanukkah hike and Havdalah and cookout. And the next Saturday night, December 11th, we have adult game night here. We'd love to have you. Sorry, kids, you're not invited for that one. And if you haven't seen yet, we'll be running an Israel trip in 1.5 years from now. We're just starting to put out information. If you would like to know more, please get in touch with me, and we'll put you on the list for more information. I'll now call up Susan Levko, who will present to Mia on behalf of the sisterhood. Come over here, this side.
Mia, do you want to step over for a second? Mia, you did a phenomenal job today. Thank you for leading us in all the services all day long, and we're really happy. By the way, I love your bling today.
Thank you.
It's very, very good. On behalf of the Beth Sholom Sisterhood, here is a Kiddush cup for you to enjoy for many Shabbats.
Thank you.
And to use for any holiday. And then another gift we have for you is a chumashim for you to enjoy. Again, you did a wonderful job. Mazel tov to your entire family. And it's wonderful to see everybody here today celebrating with you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. It's now an honor and a pleasure to call up Josh and Naomi, who will offer some words to Mia.
Ze hayom asa Adonai nagila v'nismecha bo. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Mia, this day, your bat mitzvah, is a day to celebrate your achievements. Remember how you felt 1 year ago, how overwhelming all this seemed, but you worked each day, practiced, and prepared. You know how to tackle a big job, and more importantly, now you know you can do it. We are so deeply proud. Proud, but not surprised. You used your talent, our not so subtle nudging, and Rabbi Sarit's and Rabbi Abi's expert teaching to get to this day. We thank our executive director, Gio Poor, for making sure all of us could safely be here in synagogue today.
Many blessings helped you get here. The wonderful teaching and encouragement of your Born Bloom teachers, the love of your sisters, your grandparents, your aunts and uncles, cousins, and of course, your 5 summers at Camp Ramah Palmer, where Judaism is a way of life. We are blessed to have Grandma Judy, Grandpa Sai, and Grandma Arlene here today to witness and celebrate your achievement. Your Grandpa Mel, for whom you are named, is not with us, and let his memory be a blessing and guidance to you. We thank friends and family from far and near, your teachers, Naomi's colleagues at the Holocaust Museum, and my colleagues from the Memphis medical community who came to celebrate this milestone in your life, either in person or virtually. We are grateful to everyone who has generally supported Mia's Bat Mitzvah Project, the Refugee Empowerment Program. As you help immigrant and refugee children with their homework, you see firsthand the power of embracing people who are different, of helping those who need it, of welcoming strangers. When you arrive to volunteer at REP, the children run eagerly to greet you. You excel with younger kids and show concern and empathy for those more vulnerable than you. We are impressed with how this project resonated with you and hope you continue your work with REP through middle and high school.
You are witty and have a wonderful sense of humor. You are also inquisitive, posing insightful questions and challenging assumptions. We love, and those of you who know Josh well know he really loves, when history discussions that you have in your classes feed into our dinner conversation. At a very early age, when we were just learning our way around Memphis, you began to carefully observe the world around you as we schlepped you to Dahlia's soccer tournaments and Orly's gymnastics meets. Demonstrating a keen sense of direction, you frequently gave navigational advice to those driving you, which was not always well received. However, your innate ability to know whether to go left or right will certainly help you choose the correct path in life. You also exhibit an incredible love of family, especially your 2 big sisters whom you admire. You look forward to Dahlia and Orly's visits home, and I have seen you practically explode with excitement on the occasions when they surprise you. You also show love of family when you help me set the Thanksgiving or Rosh Hashanah table, and you come up with some creative display as you eagerly await the arrival of family and friends. But underneath that loving and helpful exterior, you also have real grit and determination. In a high-stakes basketball game at the JCC, you faced an opponent 2 feet taller than you. She tried to take the ball from you, but when you would not release your grip, she took the ball and you clear off the ground. When your sisters brought home the board game Catan, which they played furiously at college, you quickly mastered it and became a ferocious competitor. You are almost always victorious when we play Quirkle, as you see moves others do not. We admire your competitive streak on the field as well, as you play lacrosse, which you love, and run cross country, which you don't, improving each day under your coach's guidance. You are always a welcome addition at our Sunday morning pickleball games with my friends. You have also demonstrated a desire to give of yourself when you recently ran successfully for president of the Student Council at Born Bloom. Your teachers describe you as a natural leader, and we hope you will continue to find ways to give of your time and of yourself.
You davened beautifully and read from the Torah and Haftorah, and even led us in methodically in Kabbalat Shabbat last night. In contrast to your parents, God blessed you with a beautiful voice. So now, how will you use your voice for good? One answer is right there. Ivdu et Hashem b'simcha, bo'u lefanav birnana. Serve God with happiness. Come before him with joy and song. That's from Psalms 100, verse 2. We hope you will use your voice and abilities to serve God in your community. Make the most you can with the blessings God has given you. Now, how you do that, that's up to you. Seek choices, make decisions, and realize consequences. Ask for help, and don't be afraid to ask. Try, and don't be afraid to try and fail. Failure is just another chance to learn. You can't do something wrong the right way, and you are never wrong to do the right thing.
Today marks the end of a year of hard work and the beginning of your life as a Jewish adult, a life we hope will be steeped in Jewish values of synagogue involvement, community service, and leadership. We also wish you a life filled with joy, laughter, health, adventure, and many more good times like this one. We are proud of you today, and every day we are right behind you, and we love you always.
Thank you, Naomi and Josh. We'll conclude this morning with Adon Olam on page 211. Following Adon Olam, Dahlia and Orly will lead us in Kiddush.
Adon Olam asher malach b'terem kol Yetzir nivra v'yet nasa b'chafso kol Azai melech shemo nikra Azai melech shemo nikra v'yacharei kifot hakol levado yimloch nora v'hu haya v'hu Adonai li velo ira, Adonai li velo ira. We'll rise for Kiddush. Just here, I'm going to skip this paragraph and pick up at all came. V'shameru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat le'dorotam berit olam. Beini u'bein b'nei Yisrael oti Shamayim bet haaretz u'bayom ha'shavi'i Shabbat v'yinafrash Al ken barach Adonai yom ha'Shabbat v'yikadshehu Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen.
Amen. Shabbat Shalom. Mazal tov.
Oh, I should do that.
Yeah. Is that what? Well, that's okay. You were standing here and you had all the other. You were great.
Thank you for the opportunity to
Hi, how are you? Nice to see you. Good seeing you.
I want you to meet my husband.
I would love to.
Alan, I want you to meet Sarah.
Oh, yeah. You see Naomi?
Yeah,
Hey, David. Alan Tannenbaum. Nice to see you. I didn't talk to you.
How are you?
Good.
I don't know if you have to pay for you.
Yeah, first of the week, you know. Short week.
Wow.
Good, okay. I got plenty of those. Good job. It's good to see you.
Hi.
Hey, Rabbi.
So nice to meet you, Alan.
Nice to meet you.
Well, we're really glad to have you. I'm glad that there's an opportunity to bring people in the door. We're really glad to have you. Open anytime. I know we're like still in the mode of like picking back up.
I mean, to have somebody check up on me.
That's how we know everyone from. And there are people that can say, come to the cars and have them in the car. And it doesn't.
No,
I know,
I was so happy.
It doesn't.
No.
But it's weird, and it makes everyone here. I'm not vaccinated right now with my children. You know, it's like,
And you can.
and he actually might be because he's in the Pfizer trial, but anyway, well, we're really glad to have you.
So nice to
Yeah. We brought you back a little bit. Well, glad to have you.
All right, thank you.
There's a person that first very lovely service.
Yeah.
Very impressive how almost seamlessly they make the service
So where's Mia? We enjoyed eating with you last night.
Oh my God.
Hugh Francis, wasn't that fun?
Yeah, listen. I think we were a little bit over.
Hugh Francis.
I think we overwhelmed you a little too much last night.
Oh, I thought it was incredible.
Yeah, it was a wonderful table.
I thought it was the A table, to be honest.
What?
I thought it was the A table.
It was indeed more than that. It was very good. Very well done.
We had a blast.
I really appreciate everybody's input and stories. And really wonderful. This gives us a great deal of praise.
Well, it was great meeting y'all, and we love working with your son.
He's not just the great son.
He knows what to do.
Yeah, he does.
He gets that obligation to the patient. You know, it's not operating, you never see him again.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's too true in Leon.
He follows through, thick and thin. He's a great doctor. You raised a great doctor.
Dave's been there. They called at 4:30 this morning, and the patient was just about to leave the hospital. Luckily, I wanted to do it.
Y'all can fix hepatitis C now, though.
Yeah, but she doesn't have it.
It's an antibody, so it's no big deal.
She's free.
Yeah.
Well, all I have to do is say it's not a big deal. But you know, it's complicated. I'm just sharing with you some part of my day.
So yeah, you've been up since 4 o'clock.
Yeah, my day starts at 4:30.
About 5.
It's
a very efficient way to run a day.
Oh yeah, we got a lot done.
Yeah. We get a lot done before the
we start our patients on 7.
It's an efficient way.
It goes out to 4. Long as they go home.
So you run an office starting at 7, seeing patients at 7.
Yeah.
Hugh Francis, good to see you.
Yes, it was. I was saying, I wish I was sitting with next to me so I could have talked you through some of this.
Well, I don't know the language. That made it tough. But I could see the deal. It's a very beautiful and serious.
It is. And she's an extraordinary child, not just because she's our grandchild, but not every child does this.
No, I could tell that. And the posture, the way she presented herself. That's.
I think she actually enjoyed it.
Yes.
She knows the deal. She knows the deal.
Yes, she does.
A lot of tradition here.
It really is. I was trying to think.
3,000 years.
That was my question. If our faith is 2,021 years, this faith is 1,000 years old.
And the prayer that's offered is the very first prayer of our life.
You remember Elizabeth, my wife?
Yes.
Oh, what a day.
We decided one thing. We were at the A table last night.
I think we were.
We had more fun than.
This was lovely.
So this faith is 1,000 years older than.
What?
This faith
Is
is 1,000 years old. 3,000 instead of 2. I didn't know that.
But I was wondering because it was obviously a long line of tradition and
A lot of times people Kind of gives you courage for the world right now when it's so grim. all the grief that's
Would you mind repeating one thing you told us last night about
Only
Aaron?
one?
Just the main thing I want to remember. Aaron, you said it's
Josh.
the cats.
Okay, listen, explain it to me.
Then I won't ask you to repeat yourself anymore.
This is the he was descended of Kohanim, high priest. The days when he was that high priest. We don't have priests who intercede for us. Everybody is responsible for their own actions and their own prayers. But the priest is really a teacher. And there's a whole lineage descended from Aaron, the brother of Moses. And the ability to bless the congregation before Star Trek took this over. This has gone on for thousands of years, and the ability to bless them. So the priests come on and they protect you, guard you, and bless you, and they create favor and be gracious unto you, and they create peace and kindness. And that's the oldest prayer of heaven.
That's a lot like the benedictions we get every Sunday.
Well, very.
Yes. Merciful unto you and give you peace.
That's right. They all come from the same ancient story. Very interesting. They're very comforting.
It really is. And how does that play in? That plays into your names.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
yes, because Sai is a descendant supposedly from that priestly group.
It's so neat.
It's interesting because it gives us no special rank.
Well, he reminds me every
You know
once in a
better,
while that I'm
every once
married
in a
to a
while.
prince of the church.
Oh, wait a minute.
That's
you
to be
know?
proud of.
You know, that's what cats mean. KZ.